Hello, I'm Chris Irvine. I'm the high school principal. First, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to review our presentation. Ideally, we'd love to have everybody here in the building. This is one of my favorite nights of the year when I get to meet our incoming freshmen and their parents and go over some basic pieces of information about the high school, especially the scheduling process. I'm sorry we cannot do that. So please review the presentation. Hopefully you have our educational planning guide that your students should have received in their classroom this week. Transition to the high school is very, very important to us, and we do everything we can to make sure we have a smooth transition from the middle school to the high school. To be honest, I believe the parents struggle a little more with the fear of transition from the middle school to high school than the kids. When they get here, they are fine. One thing that we do to make sure our ninth grade students are prepared is that we have ninth grade homeroom lessons. All of our ninth grade teachers will go over different lessons with our freshmen to make sure they're ready for the high school. Also, in the spring, we will have some presentations for our students to prepare them for coming to the high school. That has not been planned yet because of COVID. We had to change the way we do things, but we'll probably have our student government and some teachers to come down and present some things to the students. In the last few years, we made some changes to our high school programming. One piece we changed is our weighted GPA. The system we had previously was very antiquated, and we also changed our credit requirements. I'm going to ask Mr. Benich to explain a couple things to you. He's our assistant principal. So here's Mr. Benich.
Hi, I'm Scott Benich, and I just want to share a few things with you concerning the weighted GPA system at the high school. So those of you with older children who are seniors, perhaps graduating and older, there was a different way of calculating class rank and weighting for our classes. And what we've done is we've changed it to a more traditional style. It's on a 4.0 scale for a standard weight class. And then as the classes become more academically rigorous, there's honors classes, they're a 0.5 weight up, so they'd be on a 4.5 scale. And then for AP classes and dual enrollment classes, they are on a 6.0 scale. It's a one point weight greater. I'd like to take just a minute or two to discuss what the credit requirements are at the high school, along with what you may see as a typical schedule for your child.
For credit requirements at the high school for the incoming freshmen, it's 26 credits. For seniors, the outgoing class that would be graduating, it's the traditional 28 credits that we had for a very long time. But for your students coming in, there would be 26. And if you look at the list that's presented to you, you can see that there would be 4 English, and basically as they go down through here, it's a fairly standard credit load. Probably some things fairly unique to Cocalico would be the senior electives that all students take. And those are 2 half-credit marking period classes that combine into 1 full credit. We have a 9th grade career and financial awareness class that every child would take for a full credit. And then also we have arts and humanities classes that they would need to take. Things like foreign language, art class itself would be in those things for the humanities. And then 2 STEM electives. And that could be anything from the math and science realm to tech ed as well. And on top of that, there are just 5 open electives for whatever the students want to take, whatever interest they may have. So overall, there are 32 credits available during a 4-year career at the high school. A student is required to have 26 in order to receive a diploma, but there are certainly opportunities to take 6 more available to them. Starting with the class of 2023, class rank will not be reported on student's transcript, and the valedictorian and salutatorian will not be recognized at graduation, though we do plan to recognize the top 3% academically at graduation in some way in the ceremony. If you reference the 4-year plan and the graduation requirements, this form is to just kind of help you map out perhaps where your child wants to go. And so for all of the white spaces, by the time your child would be done as a senior, all of them would be completely filled in with different classes that meet those requirements. And Not that you need to have this completely mapped out as an incoming freshman, that's not what I'm saying, but this would be something that your child would work with in cooperation with you and also their school counselor to decide, where is it that they want to go, what are their goals, and what does that actually look like. One thing that's not reflected on here, and that are some different opportunities that are available to them, things such as CTC as a junior and then CTC as a full-day senior if they would choose to go that route. There are some dual enrollment opportunities that can also meet some of the requirements on the paper as well. In addition, there's also early enrollment and internship opportunities for the students here at the high school. These are all relatively new and exciting things for them to pursue. I'd like to reference the 9th grade program that's there. Like, what will your child's credits look like in 9th grade? As I stated previously, there are 8 credits available, 4 in the fall semester and then 4 again in the spring semester. And if you look down through, there are different English opportunities, but 1 credit must be scheduled, would be an English of some sort. Every child will have American Studies. Every child will have at least 1 math credit scheduled, at least 1 science credit scheduled, most likely principles of science. There's a health PE full credit requirement, career and financial awareness, which I had mentioned prior, is a full credit of that. And then open, there's at least a credit or so open for them to pursue maybe something that they want to do, like a foreign language. Perhaps they have an interest in FCS or Tech Ed or art.
In the handout sections of the presentation, you will see a sample schedule for a 9th grade student. In the block schedule, we have 4 blocks. Blocks are 80 minutes apiece with a tremendous amount of time to really get to know the kids, build relationships, and cover their content. We try to balance the schedule, so we have 2 majors in one semester, 2 majors in the other. It's not always perfect, but we try to do our best to balance it. I think what kids need to know is they should take the most rigorous course load they possibly can. Every schedule will look a little bit different, and kids should be scheduling based on their future plans. Their counselors will get involved and help them with that, but they really should take the most rigorous course load they can. Any student that is college bound really needs to take care of that humanities requirement in our world language department. They do a phenomenal job, so please make sure they take German 1 or Spanish 1. As far as the end of the day, we have a focus period. We use that to really enrich, remediate, and come back and meet with our teachers. We will go over that more in August when we have our parent presentation and student to come around the building and do our orientation. There's a sample. Please review the sample schedule so you have an idea of how the block is taken care of.
Hi, I'd like you to look at the 9th grade sample schedule. This is a Wednesdays only, and the significance of this schedule is during Wednesdays there's a homeroom period. It's a short and abbreviated period. It's 30 minutes in the morning after block 1. And then at the end of the day is a 30-minute club period. Unfortunately, we've not been able to run either of these periods or the special Wednesday schedule at the high school up until this time. Hopefully perhaps we can incorporate something like that before the end of the school year. But we are very hopeful that next year our schedule will revert back to the standard schedule, which would be this. Now, this schedule only occurs on a Wednesday, but the homeroom schedule itself gives students the opportunity to check in with a faculty member, and that's the only class that a child has consistently the same teaching professional here at the high school that follows them from 9th grade to 12th grade. And during that homeroom time, the student and the faculty member are kind of working together to plan out, where is it that they want to go, and a little bit of advising there. In 9th grade, there are teachings of transition lessons, and then there are also their grade checks going on each week. So students who, you just need someone to kind of talk through academically how things are going, and if things are going great, and it's a quick grade check, and if there is more work that perhaps needs to be done academically, the homeroom teacher serves as that liaison between that child and and their classroom teachers, or that child and their counselors, or maybe they make referrals for that child to receive extra help through one of our academic programs here, such as it could be MTSS, where they would receive extra help during the school day. And at the end of the day, there is a 30-minute club period on a Wednesday. That'd be from 2:07 to 2:37, and these are clubs, high interest clubs for the students, and it can be anything from student council and Leo Club. NHS might meet during that time. It can be just common interest clubs, general interest clubs. I think there's a Star Wars club and some other clubs that students I know are involved in. And there will be a club sign-up time. It's online. It'll happen during homeroom at the middle school before the end of the year. We'll send over, kids will go over, share some information with them, and then they will select online. I'll warn the freshmen up front, the incoming freshmen up front. The real popular clubs that I'm sure that they want to get into many times are filled by the upperclassmen, and there is no space for them. But we encourage them certainly to try, put their first, second, third choice down, and we'll try and accommodate them as best we can. It's been a new schedule, one we experimented with, but so far it's proven to be really beneficial for the students.
In the handouts posted on the website, there's a sample course selection sheet that will be used for your child to select their courses. Their counselors at the middle school will be very involved. Some courses will be pre-filled in based on what they're enrolled in at the middle school. Some courses will have choice. There'll be more information to follow from the 8th grade counselors to help in this process. I'd like to take a moment and just explain a couple pieces of our educational planning guide. This guide is only printed for our 8th grade students, for our parents to sit down and kind of get a game plan of how they're going to approach high school and the course selection. Please don't stop at the course summary list in the beginning of the guide. That does list all of our courses, but you need much more information to make good decisions about the high school program. As you go through the guide, please make sure you stop at page 10, read the basic pieces of information about our credit requirements, some things we offer in dual enrollment, and other opportunities. Also, our weighted GPAs, and we'll talk about that more later in the presentation. The most important piece is each of the departments have a section in the guide where there's detailed descriptors of each of the courses, prerequisites, and the weighting of the courses. Please use that to make your selection. The middle school guidance counselors will also work with the students to make sure their course selection is done properly. Information will come from the guidance counselors and myself on how that will be handled. We're in the planning processes right now due to COVID. We're making 3 different game plans depending on what comes up. Thank you. Thank you for reviewing our presentation. We really appreciate it. I know it's very difficult in these times. We would love to be face-to-face to answer all your questions. If you need anything, I can be contacted at the high school via email or by phone. Please don't hesitate to contact me. There'll be more information coming from Mr. DiMatteo, the 8th grade guidance counselors, and myself in the upcoming weeks. This process may seem a little overwhelming, but it is not. We're excited to have your kids here at the high school next year, and we look forward to getting to know you also. Thank you.